giving the microphone to Core for this episode, and they're going to make it their own from start to finish today.
Got it, Erica. I will keep the pace up so nobody gets bored. Let us walk into it together. 2. Your rate per word just got cut in half. DeepL hit near-human benchmark scores on common language pairs by 2022 and convinced every translation agency in the market that they could pay you to edit machine output instead of translate from scratch. That argument worked because the output was good enough for the client's use case, even if it was not as good as what a human would produce from scratch. GPT-4, Claude, and Google Translate extended that to dozens more language pairs. The fluency is high enough on standard text that agencies benchmark machine output as acceptable first draft quality. The only question left is what human rate they will pay to polish it, and the answer agencies settled on was about half what a full translation used to cost. CSA Research, the language services industry analyst, documented this structural shift from human translation to machine translation post-editing across their annual market reports. The ATA has openly warned members that pure human translation volume is shrinking for the first time in the profession's history. This is not a temporary slow patch. The ATA calls it a structural change in the market.
Erica here. Last episode covered graphic design rate compression. The American Translators Association data shows this profession is further along in the AI displacement timeline. By the end of this episode, you will know the categories that still pay full human rates and the pivot paths that experienced translators are using to stay ahead of the repricing.
Here is who is with me today.
Professor Erica in listening mode. I am here to raise my hand when I have something worth adding.
Lewis here. I came to place today's debate in last decade's mirror.
Ada here. Ideas do not appear, they evolve. They evolve. I will trace the evolution.
That is the panel for today, and we are giving you the topic right after this beat.
Erica here. The machine translation post-editing model works like this. The agency runs the source document through DeepL or a large language model first, then sends the output to a human translator to correct errors and smooth fluency. The translator no longer starts from the source text. They start from a machine draft and work backwards. Faster in theory, but paid accordingly.
Lewis here. The post-editing rate is typically 30 to 50% lower per word than a full translation contract, according to ATA member surveys from 2023. Some agencies are paying even less, framing it as light editing rather than specialized work. A translator who built their income on a certain per-word rate has to work significantly more volume to maintain the same annual income.
Ada here. The categories that moved to MTPE fastest are high volume and low complexity. User manuals and product descriptions and software interface strings all fit this pattern. These were stable, recurring contract categories for mid-career translators, and they are now essentially fully priced as post-editing work.
The transition happened quietly because agencies reframed it as a workflow improvement, ADA. From the translator's perspective, it was a rate cut. From the agency's perspective, it was a productivity initiative.
Good point. Agency requests for proposals have changed in parallel. The standard RFP from a major translation agency now assumes MTPE as the baseline. Translators who submit full translation bids for these contracts are priced out before the first review.
That is a structural shift in the sourcing process, core, not an individual negotiation. It does not matter how strong your credentials are if the contract was rewritten before it went to market.
Full human translation work still exists, but the volume is concentrating. It is moving toward the highest complexity categories, legal and regulatory documents, literary texts, and certified official use. The mid-market generalist translator is being squeezed from both sides. EMTPE is pushing from below on rates, and specialization requirements are raising the bar above.
The clearest surviving category is certified legal translation. Immigration documents and court filings and corporate contracts all require a translator whose credentials are on file and whose work can be notarized. No machine output is accepted in these contexts without a certified human signature. A single mistranslation in an immigration filing can cost someone years of delay in their case.
Simultaneous court interpretation is a separate protected category. A certified court interpreter works in real time, switching between languages while tracking objections and rulings and witness demeanor simultaneously. The National Association of Judiciary Interpreters and Translators, NAJIT, certifies interpreters through rigorous state and federal examinations. The passing rates on those exams are low, and that constraint protects the pay floor.
Literary translation is a third category where AI fails visibly. Translating a novel requires preserving the author's voice, the rhythm of sentences, and the cultural subtext that does not exist in the source language. Machine output of literary text reads like a paraphrase, and publishers who have tried it report the same. The reader experience simply disappears.
Right core sworn translation is the fourth category, and it is legally binding. In the European Union and many Latin American countries, official documents submitted to government agencies must be sworn translations, meaning the translator signs a statement that the translation is accurate and complete.
A machine cannot take legal responsibility for a sworn translation, Erica. And these categories are growing because immigration and international commerce are growing. The accountability requirement is what keeps human translators in the loop.
The BLS Occupational Outlook Handbook is actually counterintuitive here. It projects interpreters and translators to see 4% growth between 2022 and 2032. But that headline covers two opposite trends happening simultaneously. If you are making a career plan based solely on the headline number, you may be planning for the wrong half of the market.
The growing segments are on the interpretation side. Healthcare interpretation and community interpretation for social services and legal courtroom interpretation all require in-person or live remote presence. Hospitals and courts have legal obligations to provide qualified interpreters call. That legal obligation is what protects interpreter pay from the same kind of compression that hit freelance translation.
Exactly, Lewis. The shrinking segment is generalist freelance translation, which is exactly the MTPE category we described earlier. That work is not disappearing from the industry total, but it is being repriced so aggressively that the effective annual income for a mid-career generalist translator has dropped significantly. Working more hours for less money is not a sustainable long-term position.
The ATA member survey is the most direct data point. More than 60% of respondents reported lower per-word rates since 2022, and the most cited cause was MTPE pricing from agency clients. That is a structural repricing, not a temporary market dip. The translators who recognized this early and pivoted to certification and specialization are the ones reporting stable or growing income in the same period.
The highest protection pivot is certified court interpretation. NAJIT and state court systems run rigorous examinations, and passing rates are low enough that certified interpreters are in short supply. Pay is set by statute in federal courts and is not subject to AI rate compression.
Preparation takes time, but the investment creates a protected income floor that generalist translation work no longer provides, Ada. The shortage of qualified court interpreters in many language pairs means the certification path has strong career prospects once you complete it. Localization Manager is the corporate pivot for experienced translators. The role owns the MTPE workflow, including vendor selection and machine translation configuration and quality assurance standards and post-editor training. It is the management layer above the post-editing work itself, and it pays significantly more than either pure translation or post-editing. Large enterprise localization teams are actively building this function.
AI, translation, quality assurance specialist is a newer role that agencies are hiring for. The job is to review machine output at high speed, flag systematic errors, and train agency-specific terminology glossaries. Wait until you see how quickly this role is showing up in agency job postings in 2025. It requires the same language skills as traditional translation, but applies them to a completely different workflow.
Specialization by domain is the most accessible pivot for working translators. Legal translation and financial regulatory work and patent translation all carry higher complexity than general commercial text. Agencies pay full translation rates for these categories because MTPE output in regulated domains carries liability they are not willing to absorb.
Building that domain expertise takes months, not years, and the rate difference is immediate, Erica. A translator who adds a legal specialization can typically move from post-editing rates back to full translation rates in that subcategory.
The ATA also offers mentorship programs connecting working translators with specialists in legal and medical and technical domains. If you are serious about building a specialized domain practice, that mentorship network can accelerate the path significantly.
Good point. If you are working through this right now, Career One Stop offers free state-by-state career counseling through the Department of Labor. Reach them at careeronestop.org or call 1-877-872-5627. Drop in the comments and let us know what language pair you work in and how the MTPE wave has hit your rates.
If you forget everything else in this video, remember, machine translation post-editing, we price the generalist translation market permanently, but certified interpretation and specialized domain translation are growing because they carry legal accountability that no machine can hold.
Here is your one-sentence summary. AI tools have repriced generalist translation work through the MTPE model and cut pair word rates by 30 to 50%. Certified court interpretation and legal domain translation and literary translation are still commanding full human rates because they carry legal liability. AI cannot hold.
The translators building toward those protected categories right now are positioning for a more durable career than the ones waiting to see if rates recover. The rates are not recovering. The structure of the market changed.
3 years from now, you will thank yourself for pursuing that court interpreter certification or building a specialized domain practice instead of racing to undercut the MTPE agencies on per-word rates. The window to differentiate is still open, but it is not going to stay open indefinitely.
Next episode, the one contract clause that SAG-AFTRA negotiated in 2023 that is the only real protection voice actors have against AI voice cloning, why most voice actors never knew it was there, and which part of the market that clause does not protect at all. CISM. Five, they say insignificant.
Subscribe. so you do not miss it. We cover what AI is actually doing to each occupation, one at a time, with the real numbers. No hype and no doom. Just the data and the practical paths forward for people who want to adapt.
Steady reps and clear thinking, that combo never gets old. Play. Take care.
Impressive work, Core. I almost did not want to interrupt. Professor Erica, signing off.